In the previous tutorial, we have already seen how we can go with the creation and how we can read the entries from the database. So this was about the reading data through the string. We are reading all the details with read employee method, which we have created in the database manager. Let me close the emulator as of now. We have seen the insert part, we have seen the read part, and now let's create the update part. So I would say public void update employee. Since we are concerned with the employee part only, because we have created our employee object, and on this employee object we are performing different operations in the database using database helper method, which are there using SQLite operation handler. So database manager is kind of, let me close this pojo. Database manager is kind of, I would say, service layer which are interacting with the database helper, that is can be considered as a kind of repository. Now let's go with the update part, how we can update it into the database, any entries which are there. For any updation in the entries, we should go with the context values. So content values, make it CV equals new content values, and using this content values only we will update the database records. So for this, as of now, let's assume that we will pass ID here as int ID, and we will pass the string name for the employee. Since we are passing these details in the form of strings, let's go with the string part only, string ID and string name. Though employee ID is an integer part, but for the string creation in form of query, we will be sending ID in the string. So I will say content value dot put the details in form of key and value, what entries we are going to update. So I will say, since we are passing the employee name, so I will say database helper dot employee name, then we will send the name which is passed in the method only. Second thing comes, we will return the DB details using update, and after the updation, let's provide the long part, whether it is updated or not. And after this update, in this update method, we will first say what is the table name. So I will say database helper dot give me the table name as employee table. If you go to the database helper, we have already created this employee table name as employee ID, name and age as employee ID, employee name and employee age. Database is nothing but employee database. So in that is the constants which we are using, that is employee table. Then comes what content value I want to change. So content value is nothing but CV here. So I will say CV. Now next comes for what ID you want to change. So I will say ID. Then comes for which ID. So it is nothing but new string values of the ID. So ID will be provided as ID which is coming. So this is how this update will work. Update will say for this table, these contents which you want to change, I will update for it for the ID as ID which is provided here in the method. Now let's go to the activity main. In this activity main, we were reading these entries. So let's do an update after this, after the reading of these database entries. So here I will log certain data. So I will say log dot d, and in this I will simply log data as update started, and just an empty string. Let me paste it one more time. So update ends, I will say, and in between this only I will provide the call of this database manager dot update. So I will say db manager dot update, and I need to provide two things, that is ID and second one is the name. We have created 5 objects, so we were having around 1 2 3 4 5 IDs. So let's change the ID of 5th person and make it, let's make the name as Puneet and update it. After updation, let's read out the details one more time, and then we will see the difference between this part and this part. So let me stop this again, rerun it. So this is saying incompatible type. The reason is that we have passed string here. So I will pass string as ID here, save it. Now again rerun it. So as you can see, this emulator has started, but we are concerned with this console part. So as you can see, we have updated the entry for fifth ID. As you can see it from here, we have fifth ID. Fifth ID was Suraj, but fifth ID has been changed to Puneet because we have sent Puneet as ID 5 to update in the entry in which our name was passed as Puneet and this was as a ID. Then it went to content values and name, that is the Puneet, has been put in place of employee name, and in the update part, this in this employee table, this has been changed for this particular ID using this ID equal to the ID method. So this was about the updation of entries into the any database or any fields. If you want, you can, if you want to update other fields also like age, you can create it here one more time and set it as age, pass the parameter of string as age, and here in the activity main pass this is Puneet with age of, let it be 52, very aged person kind of, and then rerun it. You can see since we have put Puneet earlier only, so Puneet will come same as both time. As you can see, this was changed earlier and we are calling to update for Puneet only. The thing is that name is Puneet, age is 31. There seems certain issue in the code. Yeah, we have done is employee name only we have updated, so we will change it to employee age as age only. So now let me restart it again. So 52 31 will come, but it will be changed to Puneet and 52. So 52 31 came, but it changed to Puneet and 52. Just to summarize it one more time, let's change it to Smith. To Smith is there and with age of 37. When we rerun it, as you can see, Puneet was of age 52 at ID 5. Now it changed to Smith with age 37 at ID 5. This was about the updation of entries into the database. We have seen create, we have seen read, we have seen the update, and next tutorial we will see how we can delete the entries into the database. Thank you all.